Hey there, folks. Well, finally getting the Skinwalker hunt for the Skinwalker Ranch video out, or my own Skinwalker Ranch video, utilizing some of the comments and question marks that the scientists had on the Skinwalker Ranch from NIDS. Excuse me, National Institute for the Discovery Sciences, or something like that. Excuse me. At the end of the video, at the end of part, well, I had to put out this video in two parts. At the end of part 1 and at the end of part 2. I'm going to post some information I've written down that tells you a little bit about some of the stuff going on there. These organizations that have been there, there's ATIP, that's military owned, BASS, BAASS, that's Mr. Robert T. Bigelow, Bob's place. Mr. Bigelow has a big part to play. David Wilcock will probably be up in arms screaming and crying because it's not him doing it. Mr. Bigelow, and also excuse me, my body's kind of fading in and out. Anyway, there's a couple others that are involved, going to be more involved with the ETs when they get here. Everything's already set up. There's things about Corey Good and David Wilcock. Oh, wait, before I go there, and I'm not beating them up, I'm just telling you what is. The most important part of all this for me is for you to be aware of what's been going on, and as things unfold, you find out for themselves. The ETs are here. The Drock, this Alliance of Life is here already. They've been here a while. When they arrived and everything else, I told you. I told you in my videos. I held this tablet up and gave you a time date stamp. So you'll know later on, when you find out for a fact, when they tell you when they got here and when the council was made and everything else, they'll not only tell you that I knew what, you know, when they tell you when it happened, it'll not only show that I knew what I was doing, they'll tell you I was there. Okay? I've always said I'm no better than a stick in mud, and I'm not. None of us are any better than anyone else. We can do things better, but we are not better than anyone else. Okay? Family sometimes often fights with itself, but we're all from the family of the first original being that was ever created, which is now dead. Anyway, when I talk, I show you some pictures that Deanna and I have made. Like, this is one, just briefly. I show you the actual pineal field. And the other ones where they're located, the actual colors that come out of it. The heart at rest puts out like a purplish ruby color. The heart puts out green, red, pink, all kinds of colors. Okay. Book number 3, I think that's right here, explains all that. Okay. People say Jay's videos are commercials for his own products. No, it's information for you. This is where you access it. You can go to thespiritualfoundation.com to see more about them, but you just buy all that stuff on Amazon.com. As far as books, and there's 3 books that are creation series. Book 1, how did everything start? This thing called God, what is it really? Where did it come from? Book number 2, everything growing in creation, how they got along and didn't get along, all the fighting, the death of the original first being male and female. what people call God. It never was. There's no such thing as God, no such thing as devil. But the one thing, or the two things that was one, that was actually both, was the original first being that split itself into two parts for company, male and female. So your God and your devil were the same thing. Want to praise that? Have at it. The more you wake up and see things for yourself, the more you'll understand the validity of what I'm talking about and the information in the books. It's not, these books aren't wrapped up about anti-religion or something. I just tell things as it is. But there's a lot of things going on. First being, what was it made of, where did it come from, etc. That's all in there. So anyway, there's 3 books, but this last one, Creation, its history, explosive evolution, and ET arrivals on Earth. This thing has got so much information in it relative to the awakening and everything else. But the thing is, to understand all that, you have to go to, you really need to go, to get the best understanding, you need to go book 1, then book 2, then book 3, and then you've seen the beginning of creation and gotten up to speed to what's happening right now. Okay, these other images, like I showed you, these copyrights, these things, I mean, these images that are copyrighted, I somewhat misspeak in the first part where I tell you, I want you to use these images. I want you to use the information in the images. Don't just copy the work, it's copyrighted, okay? It's legally our material, Deanna's, excuse me, it's legally Deanna's material. All my copyrights, everything are in Deanna, or belong to Deanna in her name, etc., etc., etc. However you want the wording to go. You do it through the Library of Congress, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, there's also runes. So Deanna and I got together. I give her the images and everything. She does all the graphic work. Deanna's an architect, a graphic designer, artist. Anyway, that's the Arae, Jara's runes of awakening. It's the Elder Truth Arc plus other runes that you won't see anywhere. No, I didn't make them up. I've used them before. I've used them on other planets. Okay. People wonder about reincarnation. You're about to find out. Everyone with an open mind is about to find out a hell of a lot more than just about reincarnation. Anyway, then also there's a rune book around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's got the, that's from Amazon.com. The cards you can only get from Deanna. We need to buy a few, like 5,000, have 5,000 of them made at a time in order to get any kind of price break. It's kind of crazy. So, and all this stuff is self-published. People, this stuff costs money. Okay, we have thousands of dollars in each of the books. Excuse me. So anyway, learning how to talk with your spirit guides, and then from there you start talking with ETs. It just grows. Okay, these things are here to help you, but they're to help you in what's coming, what you're about to do. How do I know about that? Well, as soon as I'm out of this body, what you're talking to, what I am inside, is turning the knobs to make this stuff happen. Okay. I hate to say that, but that's the way it is. I've always said I'm the janitor. I don't want to... we're all equal, man. No one's any better than anyone else. We've all been made to act and think differently. But what's controlled your lives is dead now. So anyway, all these things are copyrighted, but use the information. When I say, use this... I showed the picture of the head, and then the different crowns that are in it, and the hypothalamus gland, plus the frequency filter that goes over the top of your head like a huge umbrella. The actual color of the frequencies, the aura giving off those energy fields, is the colors you see them made out of. Okay. That's how I get this information that I give you. But when I say use the, here's these images, use them. Use what I should have said to be proper. Use the information I'm feeding you in these images. Okay. That wasn't a right to void the copyrights that Deanna has on them. Now, this thing with Corey Good, David Wilcock, Simon Parks, man, they're just all over the place. Okay, listen to their crap. When ETs get here, you're going to be extremely disappointed. Some of you are going to be mad, but if someone told you ahead of time to start using your abilities to look at what's going on and start trusting how you feel about it, then it's not their fault. It's yours. Does that mean? No, it's true. I've been helping everyone get stronger so you can see these things for yourself. What I tell you, what I'm telling you right now in these two videos about the Skinwalker Ranch, or the Sherman Ranch, Bigelow Ranch, Skinwalker Ranch. It's got many different names. It's in the Uinta Basin in northeastern Utah. Damn. Anyway, you'll find out later on this information is true. You find out from members of this Alliance of Life. When ETs come in here, they're going to be talking with you. They'll talk to the governments, but they're not going to allow the governments to censor their own words. They already know what a mess these governments have done, not taking care of us, abusing us. After Project Blue Book is what, in the 50s, 1950s somewhere, that this dude in a high-ranking officer in the Air Force comes out and says, we're no longer interested in UFOs. And then all of a sudden in December 2017, the Los Angeles Times releases an article saying, oh yeah, the government just spent, I don't know, I can't remember, maybe it's $22 million. I think it's over $20 million researching ETs and the threat they are to us and everything else. Anyone who thinks the government doesn't lie needs to wake up, okay? Anyone who thinks they can't keep a secret is kidding themselves, okay? They need to wake up too. I don't mean to sound mean and aggressive towards anyone, but it's a fact. The time to sit in your room and hide from everything around you, number one, that doesn't get you anywhere being yourself and becoming yourself, but number two, it's not going to help you make any kind of half-assed decision in life today. Doesn't mean you're defective or anything. It's just you want to help yourself or not. Anyway, so I'll tell you about the information. If you see the movie Beyond Majestic, which I had a slap in front of my face, and the part of me right outside said, you need to watch this. So I watched it. Corey Good, David Wilcock, they're talking about submarines that were turned into starships and they're flying through the universe. And what? Propulsion is anti-gravitational. So you build a strong enough anti-gravitational field, a submarine weighs nothing. It floats in the air. You control that electromagnetic force, and you can make it move. That's how starships take off. Especially how they take off so quick. Poof, they're using the electromagnetic field. And gee, it's stronger down here near the ground than it is up there. So the closer it is to the ground, the faster it takes off when they engage those engines, and they have other ETs have other engines in their ships. Plus, there's gliders, just like we have all different kinds of cars. They have their stuff, all different types of vehicles. All this stuff, folks, you're going to start finding out about. Okay, Corey Good is talking all kinds of crap now. Sixth density beings and all this other. I look at him when he said that. I looked at him and I went into his head at the time he was doing it, and then I could just see him making stuff up, trying to fudge this and fudge that, and I said, man, that's sad. And then the more stuck in my head, and the fact that there's so many people watching that, and I have no jealousy. I'm leaving the information, and I'm out of here. There's other people that are going to move this forward, okay? But when I take a look at that, and then I see David Wilcock runs around making stuff up everywhere. He'll say this tree is going, and then he said, next thing you know, it's coming through a dimension. It's underneath the ground. There's alien. Yeah. What? There's a tree growing in the ground. David once talked about he was with some people in China, and they were measuring the photons, which is a measurement of light energy. They say particles. It's light energy, okay? And then there was a room where one or more people, I'll leave it there, actually crank up, go to look, remote view, to go look at something else. And when they did, the amount of energy in the room increased. The amount of photons, quote unquote photons, it increased. So then he tries to cover his tracks by saying, then what if? And he's saying, over here, this happens. A vortex opens up when you go look at this, and you literally bring photons back through this vortex. For Pete's sake. The source field is everywhere. Okay? The source field is everywhere. When your hearts move and reach out for the loved ones, whether they're on the other side of the planet or on another one, you go through the field to reach them. And as soon as you go to build up that intention, the field goes through everything. It actually goes through everything. When you build up that intention to go, it's like a surfer trying to quickly grab a wave, and then the wave starts forming, and then he stands up on it. The field creates stronger, condenses this energy right there to create the necessary energy for you to go ahead and do what you're trying to do. That's the job of the field. The field is a small part of what I am, and that happened later in May of 2013. So why do I see this? How do I feel this? How do I know it? Because a part of me, a small part of me, literally is the field going through everything. Do you need to believe this? No. All I'm doing is feeding you information. The more you wake up, become yourself, the more you're going to realize it's for yourself. Is it daylight? Yes, that's truth. Is nighttime coming? Unless it's the end of the world or something stupid like that. Unless that happens, yes, it's coming. Night's going to follow. Okay, we go around the sun, the earth rotates, yada, yada, yada. Is it true that I can see this and see that? Yes. Is there same kind of physical proof for that for you? No. You have to have your own proof. That's why I've been trying to make you stronger. So you can find yourself, work with yourself to become stronger, and see things for yourself, make your own truth. In the meantime, I tell you what's there, like the different parts of spirit and some of the physical beings that are here. You'll see. So anyway, and then Simon Parks, I heard him say one time he was like 3.5 years old, and he was already, or I heard it said about him that he, at 3 years old he was he had impregnated some reptilians. I mean, and I've talked with Simon one time. When he did, I went into his head. I was cranking up a friend of his, and that tries to help him, and he said, "Wow, I can feel your energy. You know, when you're on a call with me or something, and my energy is everywhere." But he felt because he was in a near, you know, proximity on a YouTube thing, he was in my mind, so he could feel my energy working on her. It's a normal thing. Anyway, that's why I know what I know, and I wanted you to have the information about the Skinwalker Ranch. So go wherever you want. See, make up your own mind. Does this make sense? Does that not make sense? But some of the stuff going on, I need to tell you, that's just total crap. Total crap. So take this information, do what you want with it. If you didn't care for what's really going on, you wouldn't be here watching it. A lot of you were literally had this put in front of you. And then you get a little energy push, and that's from the other side saying, hey, watch this. You might hear me say something, and all of a sudden you get goosebumps, your hairs stand up. That's your spirit guides. That's your spirit guides going inside your body, and then literally going from inside the body through your skin and kind of activating your pores, the hairs, the follicles. They're putting electromagnetic energy inside them. It's part of what we are. It's one of the five, it is the most important, the most necessary field of energy necessary to create spirit or sentient energy from regular energy. All that's explained in book number 1 for the creation series. Okay, anyway, so that's enough about that. I love David, I love Simon, I love Corey. Gotta tell it like it is. A lot of us have always been, all of us have always been screwed with through our lives by the original first being, male and female. And the original first beings, I talk about that later in part 1. And they're gone. All that's gone. Everything's new laws are coming down. Where not only will people not be allowed to do that or manipulate you in a wrong way or harmful way, they're not allowed to lie to you. When they do, they get in trouble. If they have an issue keeping that mandate, then they get deleted permanently. So anyway, let's go ahead and get with the video. It was important I corrected the issue with the copyrights. Deanna pointed that out to me. People, I am out everywhere. The field is literally me. It's a piece of me that comes out, just comes out and goes everywhere. Like, think of it like an aura shell. I see, feel, hear things sometimes when I'm trying to talk. Now, this body's been dying since 2015, and I'm really anxious to get out of it, but there's nothing that can get me out until the body's finally worn down to about where it is now. So I'm going to finish this video. I'm going to put one last one out after the ET video. I just want to talk to everyone and leave some information and take care of 2 last things I need to do before I drop, and then I'll just be in my chair bed, as I call it, and just do everything I can to help that out a part of me, get me out of this damn body. Just relax and try and let go. Anyway, on the other side, only the original first being, male and female, ever controlled lives. Put people in, had them taken out. Your angels usually killed your body when it's time to come out. But I'm not like anything else. My power levels they don't anything like it. Okay, so it's source. It has all the different frequencies in it. So I bond with it. Get a big bucket and get a 5-gallon bucket and put a gallon of stream water in it and a gallon of lake water in it. You put them inside that 5-gallon bucket, they're gonna mix. So that's my problem. My last life I had 2 big hunger strikes, and and then still had to be shot 4 times before I can get out of my body. God. Anyway, look, here's the video. I felt the need to say this beforehand because a lot of people are going to keep watching this, new people coming in. And you don't know who's telling you what. There's so many people that tell you all kinds of crap. That's who I am. This information, just however you feel about it, I explain what's going on, how it happens. When a portal opens up and things move through time and everything else, I see the machine, I see everything else. Okay? Everything that you need to know. Alright, folks. Let's get into part 1. And then after part 1's loaded up, while part 1 is loading up, I'm going to put up part 2. So you have them there immediately. I just had to break it up in 2 videos because I couldn't make a 4-hour video. Alright, folks. Love you. Here's some info, and hope you put it to use. Hey there, folks. It's 2:52 p.m. Tuesday, April 9th, 2019. Finally get this Hunt for the Skinwalker video out. Huh. I'll liven up in a little bit. Cold agua. Oh, that's good. Maybe that's agua fria or something in Spanish. Okay. Excuse me. This information is relative to the movie Hunt for the Skinwalker. There's a lot of stuff they talk about they don't understand, and you know, they have no idea and everything else. And some people can see some stuff. There's some, you know, strong people here in the planet, and I've cranked up over 4,000 people, and they're strong as hell. And you'll see the children that have come from Source. Dan and I already have 58 children running around. And sometimes when they come and take your proper materials, so to speak, it can be painful. I don't mean screaming pain. I mean, it's just annoying pain. After the first time it happened, I was pissed, and Deanna was pissed too. Like, who the hell gave them permission? But knowing what it was, what was happening, and that it had to happen, we talked to them and told them, hey, it's okay, but better be nice about it. So, and then we move forward from there. I've had ETs in and out of the house over here forever, and Deanna moved in. It's her house too now. Everything's in Deanna's name. I prepared for this well, for my leaving, and to make sure things keep moving forward. But Deanna and I, we've had them running in and out of the house all the time. Deanna would be laying down, relaxing, and doing something with a computer, starting to fall asleep. It's hard for her to sleep, and all of a sudden she sees this arm and something else nudges her in the bed, and it's like, she's like, really? We've had them run around the house, bumped into them. Just recently, first let me say this, there's a ton of people on this planet, a lot of them I've gone into and cranked up, but there's a ton of people on this planet that are going to be, you know, talking with these ETs. Do you think the ETs are going to come over here and allow they're what they offer us. Do you think they're going to allow the shit that runs this planet to control it? Hey, they were flying around in these starships over millions of years ago. No, they're not stupid. And the primary control in all this in physical body is the Drock. They're my personal family. They are in Earth years. They're over 2 quadrillion 861 trillion years old. That's how old the Drock race is in Earth years. I've been communicating with them in and out of body for years now. When I used to hold this thing up around early 2016, 2017, you started seeing me showing you time and date stamps. That's why. So anyway, the reason why I'm telling you this, I want you to at least to try to relax, try to feel into who I am, what I'm saying. Is this something worth your attention? As long as you feel like that, I suggest you flow into it yourself to find out for yourself. Excuse me, to find out for yourself how you feel about it. And then the more you do it, the more you feel, the more you see, the more you understand, the more you move forward with it. Excuse me. The more you grow, the stronger you get. I put a video out a while back just putting out energy into the camera. So as long as you're clean energy and it's time, so you can be awesome and have a lot of work to do. But it's not time yet. Because as I do that, that's me in the field. When you watch it, I'll go ahead and go in you. And it's not the same. It's not the same as a crank up, but it's help. You'll feel it, and you will be stronger. Anyway, we're about to get into the video. There's a lot of information here. I had to write down, type out some of the information and times and everything. It's 11 pages. It's a little space in a few of the pages, but I can't remember stuff like that. I remember certain basics, but I can't remember all the different basics to talk about. Anyway, one thing I was going to say, everything's not going to happen. The Spiritual Foundation is going to be doing everything. People all over, so many of you that listen to me are so much more involved in what's about to happen than you realize. You're here for a reason. But Nacho is... Deanna has two brothers, Nacho and Fernando. Deanna is going to be very involved with the Spiritual Foundation, but 4 years from now, she's going to have to start pulling away from other stuff, from this to take care of other stuff. The Spiritual Foundation is already logged in, attached to other things off the planet. 8 years from now, she'll be cruising around. She's got a small ship, part of a larger group that she'll be in. There's a planet smaller than Earth that's got a real nice house on it where Deanna and mine's kids are. So it's, believe it or not, family house. So anyway, Fernando, very strong solar plexus. He's going to be running the Spiritual Foundation. Deanna will always be there. She owns it, and she'll be like the president. But Fernando's going to be in control of day-to-day operations. They'll be talking all the time. we have our internet on this planet, ETs, and this is DROC based, okay? Yeah, communication, no problem. Deanna's got her own little flyer. It's funny as hell. You ought to see the room on it. Anyway, it doesn't mean she's got it now and she's flying around. No. It's already set aside for her, okay? So, there's a woman that followed me into Costco one time. I was told to go there. There was a lady, she was Lily inside, and that I'd be meeting her in Costco, so I needed to make some kind of basic contact, seeing each other, and then just go to her head. And she's an officer, a pretty high up officer on a very large ship. She's going to be working with Nacho. I met her there and talked to her. And, she's straightforward about many things. She's been appearing to Nacho recently, and I was talking with her while I was talking with Deanna and I were talking with Nacho, Fernando, and Deanna's mom and their mom and dad in Spain. So while that was going on, I was talking with her, and then Nacho had already been looking at her, seeing her, and she's been coming in and out, and he had said this one thing that, and she's telling me, look, I'm trying to say this and that, and I kind of give him a hint. I don't mean like, what color was the red dress? Was it red? No, I'm talking about leading him in a basic area to ask a question where he has to go look and come up with a valid answer. It's like I do with people when they're seeing something. I'll say, relax, open up. What do you feel? Do you feel male or female? Well, there's a 50-50 chance they're right or wrong. It doesn't matter. They're going to see. And lots of times when you're going to see if someone's male or female, you do that with each other. There's someone else there. There's other people there too. So you have to relax and go out into it. That's the important thing, is learning how to trust yourself and understanding you can't see everything all the time. No one can. You're stuck in a body, man. It's a flesh pit prison. Anyway, so as you listen to what we talk about, I talk about in this video, I wish it was we. Damn heart. As you listen, just relax, see how you flow into it. An idea, when it comes out, go to use one of those free downloaders on the internet, MP3, MP4 download, or YouTube download, and save it so you can talk about it later. I've had some serious dealings with the NSA and organizations that have come off from them lately. And the CIA, they're not kind of, they were never really freaked out. They were just like, what the hell's going on? What the hell just happened? And these other organizations, the NSA and all, they're involved with Skinwalker Ranch. They're the ones that own it. That own the property through that. What's the name of that? I don't even know if I have it here. I don't think I do. The realty company that actually owns it. I don't think I put it on there. I didn't. Damn it. It was funny as hell, the name of the realty company that owns it. It's so ridiculous for a name. It might as well have said arrogant assholes. That guy in the movie, towards the end of it, that represents the new owners, and he dresses in black, all black, and he's a white guy all dressed in black, got a nice gold watch, and he has his voice changed. Number one, you can go back through those things and change it back into his real voice if you really wanted to, but all he is a little child. A little child playing with his baby toys. He's just loving this attention. I'm the man in black. I'm the man in black. It's unreal. I look in his head and I said, damn. Does mommy still cut the corners, the crust off your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? I guess sometimes I really do seem like you have an attitude, and folks, it's because I do. I'm tired of this. I need to be home taking care of things. I got work to do. It's like wanting to cut your lawn, and every time you want to go cut it, it starts raining. Then you get to the weekend when you got time because you work 12 hours a day. Then you get to go out and it starts raining. And next thing you know, you're walking through a jungle. It's funny. Anyway, so he's told what to do by people down the line from some of the big large handlers. But see, the thing is, the reason why they bought the property or seized it, really, they used your money to buy it, was to keep everyone off, keep everyone from going around and doing everything, plus allowing Bigelow, allowing Bass, B-A-S-S, it's Tom, it's Robert, Robert T. Bigelow, I think, Bob Bigelow, George Knapp, the main guy in the video, the reporter, he talks about him all the time. They're allowed to come in and on because the government is using them. It's Bass, it's B-A-A-S-S, Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies. The government's just using him to get free information for what's going on. Mr. Bigelow, Bigelow Aerospace, he has 2 space stations of his own. You think he's going to censor himself from what's going on out there? No, he wants to know. Bob Bigelow is awesome. He's incredible. George Knapp, he's fracking awesome too. You know, I was going to do this later. I'm just going to do this now. We do a little quick energy work. I take a long time to do these DNA ICUCs. I don't need to take much time to do it. Okay, here's George. Okay, here's Robert. Okay, anyway, so if you count in the video, how long did that take for 2 DNA ICUCs? What I've done is I want people to feel it. I want them to understand it. I go to the individual parts of the brain, work on it, but I have them, we don't go any further until they feel their energy. And then they'll feel it right away. And as you feel the energy when someone's cranking you up and you feel it grow in between the different stages, it's like, and then you get halfway there, or at least at the end, and all of a sudden, depending on who's doing it, and all of a sudden, they go to feel a shell. You know, I'm doing it like just so you can see it on camera, but the hands are like this, but the way extended, they go to feel the shell and they can't feel it. And I'm like, okay, now take your hands, relax, take your hands, and don't lock your elbows, but extend your arms out, relax. How do they feel? And I said, well, it's warm and, you know, tingling. And I said, okay, now just take a nice deep breath. Damn heart. And just reach out and go until you feel something. What do you feel? And then they can feel the wall, but their energy wall that used to be right here, it's now about 18-foot radius from the body. People feel that stuff, like when they feel that like that, it's real. Just like the quantitative quantitative electroencephalogram results at thespiritualfoundation.com. It's all published. All the data, all the different numbers, the corresponding graphs and everything. You can look at it. Have someone check it out that knows what they're doing. Tell you it's real. Anyway, this video is important because these people, these ET scientists that have been under that ground in that huge facility, they've been in the Uinta Basin. They've been there forever. They came here about 1.12 million years ago. About 1.13 million years ago is when that huge spacecraft that's under, people call it a mothership, whatever, it's a huge starship. It's a city ship because it's huge. Big as a continent? Yeah, it's pretty big. Anyway, it's excuse me one second. It came down here 1.13 million years ago, just over a million years ago now. If you look at my earlier books, I gave you a chart for the ages here, the Earth and Age timeline. We're in the 6th age, okay? The 4th age started back 1.1 million years ago to 0.8 million years ago. Okay, that's when the 4th age ended. 0.8 million years ago, but it started 1.1 million years ago. I never looked at this when I went to go see how far something is. But there it is. The information's all there. As time goes on, you're going to find all the stuff's there. I know what I'm talking about. I see it. I know these people. I talk to them. There's nothing great about me. There's nothing special about me, but I know what I'm doing. I know what I see and I understand. I'm incredibly powerful, and I'm here for you. These scientists that were in the Skinwalker Ranch are gone. They have been imprisoned, and they're paying for what they've done. Period. The Drock have an energy field around the Skinwalker Ranch underground, that facility, and it's locked in. There's 5 different chutes coming off of those conduits, where those capsules fly through them. Again, it's electromagnetic energy. When you build an electromagnetic current that's stronger than what the planet puts out as part of its natural body energy, Gaia, planetary essence, female universal essence, when you can overcome that, then you float. You're not affected by that gravity anymore. It's simple electromechanical. I got hung up on some stuff while I was trying to get this video done, and it put me behind in that part of me that's controlling the death of this body, me coming out, and it's hard to kill this body because I'm so attached to it. It was pissed that I got taken off of what I was doing to take care of stuff, and that was made to happen by the other side. I know what that part of me was pissed at. It's on the other side. They run this side. So when you learn about ETs, guess what? They get messed with just like us by spirit on the other side. They're controlled. They used to have angels on them, original first angels. They used to have them on it. The universe, Universal. The original primary first being male and female halves ran them too. They're part of a family of us. It's called people being spirit, sentient energy, living in bodies, having a life in a body, and then coming out again and being themselves and living in the second dimension right above us. A foot and a half to the right and 3 foot up, but take the right part and put it towards over here about a third of the way from the side of us to the front of us. Anyway, it's important to understand that and keep that in mind when you're dealing with ETs. Some people are going to want to call them gods. Okay, folks, let's get with the video. Now, the video itself is, I think, 2 hours and 6 minutes long. It's called Hunt for the Skinwalker. You can go to Amazon.com and you can purchase it and on what they call Prime Video or something like that, where you can access. You can go to Amazon.com, go to your account, and you can go to your videos or video library or whatever, and then you can watch it anytime you want. It's like $9.99, $10. Do whatever you want, but that's a if you really want to know what's going on, that's what you need to do, is start getting good material. I'll be back in just a second. Well, we're back. Okay. In the Skinwalker video, there's some really cool people in there. I want to talk about some of the basics first. There was a group of, there's a family, the Shermans, and well, I got to go back to the beginning. When these ET scientists came here, when these ET scientists came here, they were here ready to party. They came in their own ship. They were, oh, excuse me. Come on, knees. Snap, crackle, pop. It was about 1.12 million years ago. The Earth had just finished coming together again. It was going through, as a matter of fact, the Earth in ages. When something I didn't mention when I brought it up earlier. I've been saying this stuff for years, and even right now, some of this stuff is starting to come together. Things I've said 10 years ago, and then all of a sudden I'm using it now, and it fits right in. I can't hardly remember what I said 10 years unless I wrote it down. I'd have to go look again, and that gets boring, so I put it somewhere. I don't know where it is. This book right here. Creation, Its History, Explosive Evolution, and ET Arrivals on Earth, by the old man. The information's in here. Deanna put a little thing in there for the Earth and Ages timelines. There's so much information in this book, it's crazy. If you want to understand what's really going on, who you are, where you came from, what was this God thing before it got taken out for being so abusive against the creation it made, get all 3 books. Start the first, then go to the second, then go to the third, and the first is the least expensive, and then the second a little more, and then the third is kind of expensive. Anyway, Earth and Ages timeline. Okay, the third age on this planet ended 2.5 million years ago. Now, the fourth age started 1.1 million years ago. Yeah, there's a little time in there. So 1.4 million years. The Earth was moving, you know, still soft in many ways. Is rebuilding itself. Some people were still here. The first to get here were the Nantids, and they were here over They came here over 4 billion years ago. They came, large ship. Anyway, in all that time, the Earth was, you know, trying to solidify and everything else. The crust and stuff is what I'm talking about. Things calm down, settle down, plant grow back. Finally, things were calm, and that's when the next age had started, because the planet was ready to start, you know, having life on it again. So anyway, these ET scientists came down here then, 1.12 million years ago, and down in the Uinta Basin. And the ground was very fertile, all kinds of rich metals. The Earth has been full of heavy metals since its inception. Plus, when the Earth has been going through its phases, it's been getting bombarded with by asteroids, bringing other heavy metals. One of them I talk about all the time. This is called boronite. It's also called peacock ore. I call it what it is. It's an asteroid, okay, that's very heavy metal. It's heavy ore, and it's got the energy inside of it. It's been imbued with the energy of unicorn energy. I call it unicornite. But I give all the peacock ore. It's another name. I speak all the names. You know, I mention all the names when I try to talk about it, so people have a good way to relate to it. So anyway, all these heavy metals kept coming in. Even there's another video. There's some other videos besides this one that are really good for you to look at to get information. Let me see, where did I? Previous page. Here it is. It's called UFO Secret, the Friendship Case. And this is about the W56 ET group here on the planet that was here in the 50s, 1950s. Where over 100 humans were closely and remotely connecting and communicating with ETs. That happened around Italy. Then also another video, I've already broke down the notes on it, but I'm not going to be making a video about it. I'll leave it for Deanna. It's called Beyond the Spectrum dash Being Taken. It's about abductions and more like that. The kind of things the idiots say, trying to say it's not real. Oh, while we're here, is it FMS, false memory syndrome? Folks, people can have something happen where all of a sudden they go through an experience they had in a past life. And they're being told it's a false memory? No, it's not. It's a real memory, but from a different life. When you go to recall it, it might look a little different than what's normal. It'll look more like what it, you know, about it happening here on this planet when you were in a different body, another planet, but it still happened. Okay? False, and people will make stuff up on purpose. But those events that are real, when people are seeing that, there's about 1 out of 2,500 that's a problem with the brain chemicals in the brain. So One lady that was saying that, talking about FMS, she's putting everyone down about they're not real. This metaphysical is a bunch of crap, and ET stuff's a bunch of crap. I forgot her name, but she's a nasty thing, solar plexus. Anyway, that's a really good movie for you to watch. You know, you want to watch the clowns, enjoy yourself. Okay, get some popcorn, see the elephants and the whatever. Tune into them. Just don't bother with me. Another video or movie is I Know What I Saw, and that's about people's numerous sightings that they've seen and all the crap other people have told them to try and put them down, to try and say, you didn't see nothing, swamp gas, all the stupid stuff, all the trash that's out there. Right now, you have all of a sudden, December of 2017, the government allows Times Square, the New York Times, to all of a sudden come out and say, yes, we have a program. We've spent, what, 22 million, 102, I can't remember what it is. I think it's 22 million. Trying to find out what's going on with these UFOs. Well, wait a minute now. They told us in the 50s that they weren't doing that anymore. The government lie? Oh, really? Gee, like that could never happen. Governments can't keep secrets? What, are you kidding me? Another one is invasion on Chestnut Ridge. That has to do with ETs, that and the tunnels that they have, these conduits that the traveling capsules go through, different scientists, people that are here mining. There's some mining going on here, but there was more in the Rockies. One other thing about December 2017, all of a sudden the government's starting to release information. 2016 is when the Drak put up a force field, and the Nantids worked with them and literally quarantined the Earth just outside the orbit of Mars. The main generator they had was on the asteroidal body of mass called Ceres, Ceres, and anything that went through had to have the code or they got smacked. See ya. And in 2017, early 2017, that's when the problematic Anunnaki families. Remember, the Anunnaki are cool as hell, but the ones that have been here on this planet came here about 11 million years ago, and 10.25 million years ago they started, taking over supremacy. They started, controlling everything they could to take over, to have control. So anyway, as a matter of fact, these human bodies were never meant to have that much reptilian DNA in us. That's one reason why humans are a little more aggressive than many others. And some of them understand why, but very few. These human bodies were not made for it. There's 38 people on this planet that don't have DNA, don't have reptilian DNA in them. Anyway, so the problematic Anunnaki, the clans, there was 12 strong families. 7 of them were the top 7 were the rulers. They're gone, taken out, removed. There's a couple little people haven't been found yet, and that's it. So all the prisoners, slaves, have been released. The governments, they know this. The people that used to tell them what to do and threaten them, they were just taken out by something else. And they're like, shit. So, like, what happens now? Now who's going to come up to us? The CIA, they hang around a lot of people. Frank Sue's one of them. They want to know what's going on with him. They hang around me and Deanna, listen to us and stuff a lot. The NSA, of course, they just got stupid. They just paid the price. They have a lot of caskets filled. And just for you people that, listen, I know you record everything I say. You best start buying some more, okay? because I'm taking out the trash, and almost every single one of you, and the top 20% are trash. So anyway, so the NSA and the rest of them, they want to get at this. Since I mentioned earlier that now with the head controllers that were running the planet gone, these ET scientists that were at the Uinta Basin, and their focal point is literally on the Sherman Ranch. I was going to say Sherman Ranch, on the Skinwalker Ranch. Excuse me. They know that they're gone, and they want to get active. Or they know that there's something going on, but they can't see too much. But they want access to that equipment, because these scientists were really top end. You know, they were. I don't care what part of the universe you're talking about, other than Drock and stuff like that. These folks had some really tough stuff, especially with time travel. So the Drock put a force field around them, took them out, prisoners, and then now the force field's still there. There are some other scientists and other folk in the security squadron, whatever you want to call it, security guards. They're military. They're part of the Alliance of Life military. They're down there. So that's what's going on with that now. And that's why these supposedly, like the little boy playing Big Boy in Black, Bib. Anyway, that's you know, they're thinking they're gonna get access to it. That's why they bought it. They want to keep other people away. There's armed guards out there now. Bob Bigelow's not like that. He's awesome. So's George Knapp and so many others down there. Anyway, so you look at the videos I've put out telling you what time this happened, what time that happened. I'd hold this thing up and show you a time date stamp, not because I think I'm cool or look at me. I said this, and it's for your reference. It's for you to create your own knowledge, your own beliefs. That don't matter. I'll be out of here soon. It's like Stone Mountain. It's there all the time. What matters is you, all of you, becoming awake, becoming yourselves, understanding who you are, and that your situation right now is temporary. There's no hell, except for being in a body. You have some nice times, but look at everything else that happens. Anyway, so that's enough about the military starting to release information at near the end of 2017, because they knew it was all coming out in the open. So now they're trying to look like that was dumb. Now they're trying to look like they're the nice guys or something. No, they suck. All these governments are going to fold, especially the U.S. government. I'm not talking about riots and, you know, physical destruction stuff. No, it's just going to happen. They're going to be taken out. New folks are going to come in. It's very simple. They want so much to know what's going on. Nacho, Deanna's one of Deanna's brothers. He is such a powerful seer. He has all kinds of folks hanging around on him, you know, on the other side, protecting him, but he's being kept quiet until just recently. And now I get out of my body, and then I can protect him properly, as well as everyone else. And there's others like Alex Hart, man. Wait till you meet him. What's his... I can't, my brain is so messed up. ALX, the Stargazer or something on YouTube. He's coming awake. Alex has really been hit hard. His heart energy is so strong. When you're pineal, you can see it. When you're pineal based and you can see multidimensionally and everything, you always were a threat to the original first being male and female. They didn't want you to see everything going on. So they mess with you, mess with your head. But when your heart, no matter where you are and everywhere you are, you're putting out love, compassion. And that literally screws up what they've set up over here while you're in a body to be abused, to be hammered. So heart gets hit harder. And heart cares more, so it hurts more. Alex can go in a room and relax, and unless something's really eating at him, you can sit in a restaurant and people in the booths around and you're going to feel good. Don't know why. You know, they won't know why. I do. Anyway, so you'll be finding out more about Nacho soon. I call him the Purple Jade Dragon. Anyway, okay, the other movies. I'll tell you about Invasion on Chestnut Ridge. It's, again, some more of the scientists, but it's a group on the East Coast. And the Appalachian Trail, there's mountains underneath them, is where they put a lot of the these tubes. And they just, you know, go in these capsules, travel through the tubes. It's called Invasion on Chestnut Ridge. We know about Hunt for the Skinwalker. We're doing it. Third Eye Spies. That's the one that really freaked out the NSA. They're watching every way they can, and you know they're not snot. They're nothing. I've always said, wake up, you wake yourself up, relax, come alive, learn how to see, feel, and understand things for yourself. That's how you have your truth. I'll give you information. I'll help you make yourself stronger, but you just make your own, you know, make up your own mind. Y'all aren't children anymore. You've been around a long time, man. You don't need someone controlling your life. To put guardrails, to have a road that goes on the cliff sometimes, to have guardrails up, yeah. That keeps you from flying off. But other than that, no. So anyway, that's about Third Eye Spies. It's about their remote viewing and stuff like that. It's Ingo Swann is in there. That was back in the day. Well, you know, 2013 is when the original first being, male and female, were destroyed completely. So what was going on before that? A lot of issues. They controlled everything, everyone's life. If they would take the primary archangel, they would tell the primary archangels that were there on that body having a life. They would make them use their energy to make something happen. Okay, and then not do it again. That's what they did to Uri Geller. When Uri Geller first started bending spoons, folks, he was taking it. There was no tricks, no nothing. He was using his mind, and the spoons were bending. Now, you notice I didn't say he bent the spoons. He didn't. His primary archangels bent the spoons. And that went on for a while. And all of a sudden, that got yanked from him. The primary archangel that was put on top of him, controlling him, quit doing it. And then that put him in a bad situation. All of a sudden, he's got things going where he can do this. And he all of a sudden loses the ability. He never had the ability. This is just some of the stuff the original first being, male and female, would make sure happened to you. What they would do, this is an energy filter that's over your head. This is some of the images. Deanna and I made a bunch of these images, all copyrighted and everything else. See it, you know, use it, show people, talk. You know, I'm showing this for a reason. Here's the hypothalamus gland. These are energy fields. That's not the actual gland. It doesn't look like that. This is huge, but the energy field is like this. Then the lower crown, which is, it communicates with it. There's like an energy storm here all the time. And then here's the middle crown, which is literally a focusing energy, like a muscle in the eye, a lens that focuses. And then here's the upper crown, the purple over there. That's the upper crown. And this is a person that's been cranked out, by the way. That's not normal. So anyway, they would come in here and go straight down to the hypothalamus with their energy, and they tell you to run in a wall. You're running in a wall. You will push or kick anything out of the way. You will dive, but you're going into that wall because you know you have to. So anyway, that crap's gone. Now, why am I telling you? What has this got to do with ETs? It's simple. You have to understand they go through it too. They get made to do stuff. There is no God. The original first being that made itself male and female made sure that somebody called it God. There never was a God, and there never was a devil. The only thing close to the devil was what you call God, what everyone's still calling God. That's the thing that screws with you. Anyway, I've talked about that too much. That's not what this is about. So back to the movies. That's relative to a couple of things that happened in the movie Third Eye Spies, but when they talk about remote viewing happens right here, the scanner field. If you go to YouTube and you look where I've look for DNA ICUC in the title. And or crank ups, and you'll see where I talk when I go into people and do it, a live one. Right here is where the scanner's energy field is, and that comes out as basically this dimension, and you see with great clarity. The pineals down here, the pineal energy field focusing for your third eye, what they call it, you know, it's just the pineal energy field in the forehead's right here relative to vision. Right there, ocular nerves and all this other good stuff. And the other part of it's in the throat. It's got two focal points. All these different diagrams and everything people have for stuff, it's everything they could do the best they could, but when you can really see, and when you see things for yourself, you'll find out it's the same thing. It's no biggie. That's a pineal energy field. That's what it really looks like. It's not a little blue oval up there. That's the whole thing. And that's the location and colors come off of the basic colors come off of the heart, solar plexus, sacral, and base. And then at the bottom, root. Oh, that'll annoy some people. Folks, it's not that I don't care about you, but I don't care about... I have no concern over what people get told for other stuff. I'm here to tell you what is and go, you know, and I've done my job, man. I need to get out of here and get to the finish doing what I started. I did more than start, too. Anyway, excuse me. So, Third Eye Spies, that's what's going on. UFO TV presents The Day Before Disclosure. That's got a lot of good stuff in it. And the other one, I just want to bring it up, UFOs and Science, Slaying the Dragon. I don't like that part of it. But anyway, Stanton Friedman. That's a video that he put out. And it's relative to a book he put out with another lady who's really cool. I could explain more, but you know what? I can't remember the names. It was, is it Edna and Barney Hill, Betty and Barney Hill or something? I don't know. From a big UFO experience that had happened when they were taking an abduction. I believe it's her daughter or niece or something that it did this book with Stanton Friedman. But Stanton Friedman talks about this, and the reason why the last 10 minutes why this information came out is I was talking about the asteroids and stuff that would bring different metals here in between the ages, and that would, while the Earth was nice and soft, you know, a lot of molten lava, molten ground. These asteroids, boom, they come flying in, melt in with it. That brings heavy metals here. Stanton, in one part of the video, Stanton actually talked about the fact that if you take a cubic foot of the Earth and weigh it compared to most other planets, the Earth is a lot heavier. There's more heavy metals. He's a physicist, I believe. You check him out. He works with MUFON. He's been studying this ET thing ever since the Roswell crash in 1947. He's not awake. He's not too awake metaphysically, but he does use his he's solar plexus, but he uses his solar plexus well. He's using it more than he thinks than he's aware of right now. So anyway, those are videos. If you really want to know, and I think that's why you're listening to me, because you have the feeling somehow something tells you, you know, this guy Jay, I don't know what's going on with him, but I think he's worth a second a second looking at, whatever. That there's something about what he's saying. And sometimes I tell people stuff like in the consultations and everything. All of a sudden the hair stands up on their end. That's their spirit guides cranking up their the electricity in their pores, making the hair stand up. Spirit, sentient energy, the largest singular field out of the 5 minimum fields necessary to turn to create sentient life or sentient energy out of regular energy. It's electromagnetic fields, so they put some of their energy in and just literally get underneath your hair follicles and put the energy up, and you get goosebumps and your hair sticks up. The hair in your arm and stuff sticks up. This is why so much stuff is mixed. I want you to understand the whole thing. I want you to have complete knowledge so you can create the strongest understandings. Why? Why not? That's the only way to do anything the way I see it. But also, number 2, very important, you all are leaders. You'll find out about it. You're not the only leaders, but those of you that have come to this understanding, you're going to find yourself just moving way ahead of everyone else. That does not make us better. It makes us ahead of everyone else. Okay. Man, there's so much to cover in this video. All right. In the second age on the planet, there were a lot of Sepoians coming down here. Zeta Reticuli, even lots of names, Greys, different heights and all, and they were coming down here. And 2 million years ago, there were some that were coming around and floating over the ground and stuff. But that was kind of a transition phase for the planet. In the second age, they were down here running around, and some of the indigenous life called them Skinwalkers because they had literally no hair. Zeta Reticuli, they have 2 stars right there. There's all kinds of solar bombardment. Their skin is tough, thick. It's a reason for it. Protect the body itself, the internals. From all the solar radiation it was being bombarded with. Relative to this, we're in the 5th age now. I'm sorry, we're in the 6th stage now. The 5th age actually stopped December 21st, 2012. And then we just went right into the 6th age without any kind of Holocaust. What was happening and set up to happen was hard movement of the north and south poles, magnetic poles, and that was stopped by spirit on the other side. Nothing in body did that. There was spirit. Anyway, source, strong source. Anyway, So in this stage, in this age, is the 6th stage now. And 6 also, numerologically speaking, stands for intuition, the sum of metaphysical abilities. That's the age we're in. Gee, imagine that. So what's been going on in the 5th and the 6th, and 5th is physical movement. So going from the 5th and then going into the 6th age, what's been going on here for a while is with the Indians in that area, calling them the Skinwalkers. That has a different meaning, because they would these folks, these scientists were incredible. They were in their upper class when they came here 1.12 million years ago. Okay. They have holographic generators where they can build a body around themselves that has enough solidity to where if they run through some bushes, the main stem of the bush might not bend, but the smaller branches and all the leaves on it are going to bend. So if they make a weird looking body, half animal, half man or something, and go running through those brushes, what are you going to see if you don't know better? You're going to see exactly, you're going to think you see exactly what you're looking at. And especially in that you went to Basin, the heart of which being that Skinwalker Ranch, Bigelow Ranch, Sherman Ranch, whatever. The heart of their facilities right there. They don't want anyone there. They've been there forever. There's generation after generation after generation after generation of these scientists, and new ones coming in. That's their place. They own it. Of course, guy owns herself. But, so they don't want people there. Sherman's, they were there for, they got it cheap. They wanted to grow some expensive cattle and make good money doing that. Well, these ET scientists in the ground, they know what's going on. They know what's going on. I mean, just you get up in the morning, brush your teeth, get going. You know what's going on with that. Well, they know what's going on with everything people are doing. Some people would come to the ranch and then looking for something, not see it or see something, and then go home, and then stuff would start moving around the house. So that's usually just the ET buddies going over there, messing with them. There is what I would call paranormal or spiritual spirit energy, us when we're not in the body, involved with stuff, especially down into the middle of the there's a few homes in there where once some folks tried to make like a little village. It was like trying to make they call it a homestead. They were starting to do some construction, and then all of these people would just get knocked out, killed. Woken up half you wake up and someone's there next to you half butchered. They were serious. They didn't want anyone around there. So some of these people who had lives there or knew about it and wanted to see what was going on, especially now, but definitely in the last 100 years, they've been real busy flying around there seeing what's going on. So you see a lot of orbs going on. We're going to get into the huge orange ball and the portals and stuff here in just a minute. Like I said, this is time, people and animals being moved in and out of time, genetic manipulation, all kinds of stuff going on. Okay. One of the holograms that were shown when these got to go to the beginning of this. The Shermans own the ranch. Sherman family, Terry and Gwen, husband and wife, their son and daughter, and the dogs, with a ranching family that owned it for 2 years, from 1994 to 1996. And then in 1996, Bob Bigelow, bought the ranch. He just went out and bought it. Boom. This man, a lot of money. Totally cool, awesome dude, incredible. He's going to have a connection with the Drock and other stuff going on here very soon. And right now he's glowing yellow gold. Oh, gold. Gold has a yellowish tint to it. He's got he's strong solar plexus, plus he's pineal, and he's got strong purple in there. That's purple energy frequencies are relative to accessing the field. So anyway, George Knapp is going to get pulled into what's going on, right into the heart of it. No government to tell either of them what to do. The government's going to be pushed aside. All these other idiots, they're in the back. What are these NSA idiots going to say when they can't get in there? Because the Drock have a force field on it. And then Bob Bigelow and George Knapp meet the Drock, and they get escorted inside to see what they want. And I can't tell you how awesome these two men are. They're incredible. Again, while you look at the video, remember, Mr. Bigelow owns 2 space stations. He knows what's going on out there. He knows a lot more about what's actually happening there. People fly up to the window and look, say hi and go. I mean, you want to talk about close contact? Yes. They'll come into view where he can see them, and it goes, but it's about to be very close contact, window to window. He's going to have so much fun. He's waited all his life. He spent millions and millions and millions of dollars doing it. This BASS thing, Bigelow Aerospace Advanced, what the heck is it? Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies. That's publicly funded. What does that mean? It means all of us have paid for it. Our tax money that we have no control of, that we have no say-so in, gets used to do it. I'm telling you, the system that exists right now is being taken away. It's about time. IRS. So much for them, huh? I should go like this, to the side, because I don't want anyone to think that's going their way, except for IRS and NSA type idiots that are watching it. Anyway, then in Bob Bigelow bought it. Mr. Bigelow bought the ranch in 1996, and then in 2016 he sold it. He didn't have an option on that. He'll never say it. He'll never talk about it. It's part of the deal. I'll tell you right now, for him, he didn't have an option. He's an intelligent man. He knows what's going on, and he knows there's things he can't mess with. He's not supposed to. They're mine. They belong to me. As I just found out. So I'm getting a little aggressive. I'm really still pissed about these idiots. Just because I'm so close to dying, they thought they could get away with something. Anyway, so okay, so he turned it over to them, but he, you know, they mentioned in the video that he still has the right, BASS, his organization, which has got some heavy controls on it. But he respects that, so that's why, and he has access to incredibly intelligent, free-thinking minds, and the government doesn't have that. So the government says, why should we try to put that together when he's already got them. He's already got the smart guys. So anyway, he has access to it. Well, he's supposed to have access to it. Part of his job, what was it, 200 and in 2008, August 18th or something? Wow, did I just have a thought? Holy crap. I think it was August 8th. Let's see. August 18th, 2008, Bass received a contract with a Defense Intelligence Agency working for their AAWSAP program, Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Applications Program. You see, our military and our government military, they're totally isolated from these NSA jerks and these other groups. So they want to try to get their hands into what's going on, understand it, and try to do something. Anyone that doesn't know that the NSA is not self-serving knows absolutely nothing about them other than their name. There's another military group, ATIP, Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Problem. Now they're working with, they feed information to Bass, to the Bigelow Aerospace guys. When they get new information of UFOs and stuff, it's called what they are, excuse me, starships that they're not familiar with, or a lot of them in a certain area doing something different, they feed him the information, and his experts take care of it. Okay, all this is soon going to be out in the open, except for the private work that Mr. Bigelow does with these ETs individually, and he will be dealing with the DROC. He'll be dealing directly with the head of the head members of the Alliance of Life Council. So, which DROC, Nantids, and others. Okay, so that's basically the tie-in that you have going on with the ranch and the different parts of the government and everything else. Mr. Bigelow knew stuff was going on with ETs there, but it was so frustrating. They would set something up to happen. There was NIDS group, the National Institute for Discovery Science, NIDS, and they made that a while ago, and they stopped it 2000 something. Closed the doors and just kind of built up Bass. But these are some of the, you'll see in the video when you watch it, the movie, these are some incredible scientists from all ends that talk about things that have happened on a ranch, that all of a sudden they're coming up with an idea. We're going to go here. Now that this has happened, we know how to try to see it and where it happened. And before they could even get towards an area to do something totally different happened somewhere else. They were being played with. Well, as smart as these people are, and for our race, they're incredibly intelligent. Bob Bigelow has some powerful men working with him, and woman, people, I should have said. There's just a few scientists I'm looking at that really are smart. They all are. Anyway, so anyway, they would, they realized that they were being messed with. And there's nothing they could do about it. Remember, these people came here a little over 1 million years ago in starships. Gee, are they ahead of us? I mean, I'm not saying that to you, but just to some of the others that are out there. Some of this attitude I have, the way I speak sometimes, that's for certain idiots. I guarantee you, you care about what I'm saying, you're not one of them. Because there's no one in that category. Zero. Anyway, I just went to go look at something, see what's going on. Something I want to happen, but it's not set up to happen yet. Anyway, so these NID folks, Jeremy Corbell, on the movie itself, George Knapp. The movie itself was put out by Jeremy something or other Corbell, investigative reporter. George Knapp was investigative reporter that you see, the other man with the silver hair, and Dr. Colm Kelleher was a gentleman, I believe, from Ireland, that was the lead inspector. He had stuff, you know, he was always looking for something biological, something microbiological or something to find some organisms from another planet or something. He wasn't finding that. And I know that was frustrating for him, but there's so much other stuff going on. He you know, he's no dummy. He knew things were going on that he couldn't understand, although I thought he'd know more about what happened with the bulls and the cattle. But see, maybe that's me sometimes I take for granted what people can see and what they can, thinking, you know, they can see more than what I think they can. I'm just used to being like that. No whoopee, Jay, just... It's frustrating sometimes to be able to understand something, see something that other people don't. It's not like you get mad about it. It's just you want them to know, and if you don't know how to help them do that anymore than what you have. Then there's Dr. Eric. Dr. Colm Kelleher, he's heart and solar plexus. George Knapp, he can see. He's got light blue in there. He's cool energy. I won't talk too much about it personally, just some basic energy stuff. And he's also pineal. Damn. Pineal with the light blue added in there too. Very high energy. Really cool stuff. And then there's Dr. Eric Davis, a physicist. Yeah, Dr. Colm Kelleher, microbiologist. He's a microbiologist and lead investigator for NIDS. Dr. Eric Davis is a physicist and one of the investigators that was with NIDS. He's a real cool guy. He's really strong pineal. Very strong seer. He was hearing things and seeing things going on over there that the other folks weren't. A lot of stuff, some of the stuff I'm telling you, it's not in the video. I'm telling you, it's because I know. There'll be little things you hear from time to time that will kind of flow with what I'm telling you. But he's a strong seer. It's just that he doesn't have faith in it like that. He knows something's happening, but it's hard for them to understand. They're all seeing the little black blotches going everywhere the spirit guides are making. Dr. John B. Alexander. He's an author and consultant. He was with NIDS. He's a retired Army, I think. And he knew, you know, he could tell, you know, they all could, that they were being played with. They use dogs a lot. That's a big thing. Dogs are extremely sensitive, very powerful. It was just recently that Animal Essence, sometime, I forget when it was, Animal Essence started getting pulled out of bodies. I think it was about 2012, 2013 is when I started doing that. And only strong souls in essence were going back in there. Human, Fey, and Feynman souls in essence were going into those bodies. Now there's like almost no animal essence in a animal body. However, they use dogs down there. And dogs are so strong, their metaphysical abilities, they knew what was going on. They could feel it. They could feel it. They could see it, you know, through the pineal, if nothing else. I mean, so they use dogs, too. A very intelligent idea. Oh, I gotta... Oh, I'm trying to find... All right, the Skinwalker Ranch is 400. You can find us anywhere. Skinwalker Ranch is 480 acres. It's near Ballard, excuse me, Ballard, Utah, in the Uinta Basin, the northeastern, basic northeastern section of Utah. One of the holograms that was seen on there, I think I said it already, but one of the holograms that was shown out there, they actually took a picture of it, or a video of it, was the Twin Towers. They had incredibly good holographic abilities. Okay, I told you about the basic groups, about the basic people there. So see, the government's been working closely with Robert T. Bigelow for a while, because, you know, he's private industry. They keep him from talking about anything that they put their money into, and actually holding back on certain other information, and that's about to be released. That's about to be released, broken. Why? Because I should call him Dr. Bigelow, I probably should. Mr. Bigelow is going to be working with the Alliance directly. So the information you'll get will come from them and him seeing firsthand. And George, you'll want to be there too, because you'll love it. You'll be there. Okay, it's going to happen before too long. Okay, told you about the we've covered a lot so far. I'd mentioned before also that the that when people left, especially when they came there, when they would go there trying to get some information to show, and this is different investigators too. This is just other people that actually, this is other investigators, would come there to find out what they could, to see something, and then try to write it up, make a big thing about it, and all of a sudden they'd have stuff starting to fall off shelves, fly around the house, chairs break. They had some neat stuff happening, and some of them were actually attacked, wake up with burns. Wake up with pain and look in their arm, wrist, his forearm. Inside here was burned on one of them. Anyway, I'm getting to a stopping point here. I can't make a 4-hour video, and there's a lot of stuff here. There's one thing I want to mention, though. They talk about the orange. I'm going to do this more in detail in a little bit, but they talk about an orange ball, okay, that appears, and you look inside it and you can see through it. Sometimes it's yellowish and you can see through it. You can see the sky from somewhere else. It's not from here. Sometimes they would show, it's a device that the scientists, it's a device that the ET scientists have that creates all this stuff, that can actually do it. They've movement through, running around, changing time, going through the timeline. It's not allowed. Okay, little stuff like this you used to be able to get away with. Okay, actually you still can, but it's going to be kept like that. Period. No one's going to go back in time and go into a city and set off a bomb or something stupid and change the timeline for all these different people's lives. No one's going to go back in time and do that. It's not going to be allowed. The other side, second dimension, source, runs these lives, runs bodies, runs everything. Alpha source. runs creation, and it's too busy to deal with rerunning people's lives that it's already set up, so it's not allowed to happen. Again, you'll find out more about, actually, some people have said they go to look at something and they hit a wall, and then there's nothing. And then they get so many years, another million, little over a million years past that, and then they can see some nice stuff happening. Well, there's a reason for that. The future's always being changed because it's being manipulated now to be better for you. It was easier to see future events in our past than it's going to be in the future, because what was running everyone's life, the only thing that ever ran a life was the original first being male and female, and they had their set schedule. If you didn't like it, tough. Get over it or don't. They didn't care. You didn't matter. You were like the callus. This God thing, you're like the callus that came off of it before it released its energy to create all the souls and the other stuff. Anyway, book 1. You want to know about that? So anyway, they have a device which is like a ring. It's underground. It's a big portal thing. It's a small device. It's a form of metal, but it's got energy in it. And there's, in my head, I've easily seen them. The folks, investigators on the ranch, they've watched it to see something big come out of, pull itself out of this portal. You can't grab energy like that. It's a metal ring. I can see it. There's a ramp going up it, and it's literally a Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it, that came out, and then goes running around. These scientists were going into the second age on this planet when these the big feet Sasquatch, when they were brought here just to be hunted. They were brought here for hunting game. How's that for disgusting? So they go back in time and they'll bring 1 or 2 over here. And when they have them down there, some of them look a bit like us. Or someone did look a bit like us. They're all gone now. The place is empty, except for some different members of the Alliance of Life going through it. But they'd be feeding them, talking with them, having a good time, befriending them. The movie about invasion on Chestnut Ridge is not invasion, but whatever. This is the title of the book, movie, whatever, movie, video. At one point, they were talking about an ET messing with a car when they were trying to leave, picking it up and then shaking it or holding it down, then letting it go. And they took off, and the guy goes like this, put his hand up. He was taught how to say goodbye, hello and goodbye. Same thing. I thought it was funny. I had to go back in time and go into his head and just see what's happening. All of you can do this. All of you that want to. You're going to have to, try to keep your blood as clean as you can too, though. Cattle mutilations. There's never any blood. Oh, yeah, because they were taken, beamed down into the ground. It's easy, just like when they beam you in a ship, they literally put you, I've explained that this happened a bunch of times, they literally put an energy field around you and then make you subdimensional and you go right through whatever. Well, they do the same thing going through the ground. They take the cattle, they work on them, and then they're dry, empty, and then they put them back in there, and they put them back in the ground. They can do that in what seems like 1 second if they wanted to. There's no experience of quite that happening, but they can do that if they wanted to, because they can do small things back and forth in time. The wolf that they shot, what happened with that? How'd they shoot it like that and didn't even feel it? And then it disappeared, and the dogs with the huge heads. There's a lot more to cover, but I'm going to stop here. This will be the end of part 1. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this thing downstairs, rest a little bit, start rendering part 1, and then I'll do part 2 today, so I can have it done today. What time is it? Whatever, I gotta finish this today. Folks, love you. There's a lot more stuff coming. Okay? See you in a bit.